Now, should I start my class?
Yes, Guruji.
Yeah, thank you.
It's your time now.
Yeah. So first, I would like to give you all thanks for organizing such a good seminar and giving me opportunity to share my experiences. Actually, my main topic will be specialties of Tantra Sadhana is taught by Sri Anandamurti ji. Most of the point is covered in the chapter of Tantra and Sadhana. But my class will be more practical based on the experiences. And of course, whatever I will tell, this is Baba's words, not mine, but I will explain in my own way. So most of the points are in the Tantra and Sadhana. As you know, Tantra and Sadhana, that is Baba's speech about Tantra, where it has mentioned Tantra which liberates the persons from staticity, because Ta is the acoustic root of dullness. And second, the meaning of Tantra is Tan means to expand, and that expansion leads to one's expansion and consequent emancipation. And what Baba has said, that Tantra is sadhana and sadhana is Tantra. As far as we know from the history of spiritual sadhana, Lord Shiva was first to propound it, and he gave this spiritual cult the name Tantra. Tantra is the secret behind spiritual progress. Few things are very important in this topic. The relation of guru and disciple is very deep. It relation like father and son, like mother and daughter, very deep relation. Because Tantra sadhana is a practical, and this is just to walk on the razor's edge. So we have to be very, very cautious while moving on the spiritual path. Because Tantra is practical, so we always need the help of the Guru. So relation in Tantra between disciple and Guru, spiritual aspirant, preceptor is very, very sweet. And here in the topic it has been mentioned, disciples of three categories, and Gurus are also of the three categories. First category of disciples, likened with the pitcher with full of water having downward mouth. If pitcher is downward mouth, when you take out the pitcher, nothing remains in the pitcher. So that is the first category of disciples. Second category is compared with the people who carefully climb a plum tree and picks plums from its thorny branches. But due to our carelessness, we lose it. They are not second category of disciples. They are not able to retain whatever they learn from the Guru. In best category of disciples are like pitcher having upward mouth, whether it remains in water or away from the water, but it is full of water. Whatever Guru teaches, he retains and brings in the practical life. Likewise, Guru has also of three types: inferior Guru, mediocre Guru, and superior. What Baba has mentioned in the topic, inferior Guru, they deliver very high sounding talk, speeches, but no moderation where disciple follows it or not. Mediocre Guru impart knowledge, but they are not demanding. But third type of Guru, superior Guru, however, take meticulous care to ensure that the disciple follow their teachings. And he creates the circumstances, pressure, so that disciple move in the right direction according to his teachings. And what it has mentioned in the Tantra, qualities of the Sadguru. So there is one shlokas from Tantra, Santo Danto Kulinascha Visuddha Suddha Beshavan, Suddhachari Supratishthit Sudhijaksha Subuddhiman, Asrami Tantra Mantra Visharad Nigraha Nigriho Saktyo Guru Rityabhidhyate. Means Sadguru must have 14 qualities. Santo, he should have composed, very calm and quiet. Self-controlled, adept in raising the Kul Kulnani. Fourth quality, he should have be modest, soberly dressed, exemplary in conduct. His conduct should be very inspiring. Honest means of livelihood. Pure in thought. His thought should be always pure. Well versed in spiritual cult. Highly intelligent. So Guru should be highly intelligent and householder. He should be householder. Established in the meditation, who is fully established in dhyana, in the meditation, and one who is well versed in tantra and mantra. He has one who has full knowledge of tantra and mantra, who can liberate the mind of the disciples and able to punish and to reward the disciple. He will not only love, but needed, he will also reward and has capacity to give punishment to the disciples and to bring them in the correct path. So these are the qualities of the Sadguru, as it has been mentioned in the chapter Tantra and Sadhana. Likewise, the virtues of disciples have been also mentioned very nicely, because when there is a good Guru and good disciple, then liberation is assured. So selection of a good disciple is very important. So it has mentioned in Sanskrit slok, Santo Vinita Suddhatma Shraddhavan Dharana Chama Samarthascha Kulinascha Pragya Satcharito Yati Evam Ityadi Gnur Yukto Shishyo Bhavati Na Anyatha. Means disciples should have also divine qualities. Samarth means these disciples should have capacity to carry out the instructions of the master in any condition. He should be pragyo yati, means must have the requisite knowledge and experience and must have full control over the mind. Disciples should have control over their mind. Disciples should have noble soul, noble conduct, tranquil mind. He should maintain peace of mind, modest and reverence, possesses sharp memory and perseverance, zealous in practicing of raising coolness. These are the virtuous qualities of Shishya. So if good Shishya, good disciple and good Guru is there, then Shiva says, then liberation is a sure guarantee. Likewise, he has also mentioned in the chapter, there are 3 stages of meditation sadhana: Pasvachar, Virachar, and Divyachar, which he has mentioned, quoting a Sanskrit slok, Sarve cha pasva santi talvat bhutale narah tesham jnana prakashaya veera bhava prakashitah veera bhavam sada prapya kamena devata bhavet. In the beginning stage, in the first stage of sadhana, all are like animal in the initial stage. They have with so many demerits. Their tendencies are like animal. But they have to start meditation. In that stage, their guru will be Pasupati, who is the lord of all the animals. In the second stage of sadhana is Virachar. When spiritual thirst awakens, they become Veera. When we follow Yama and Niyam, 16 points, then literally we become Virya. We established in the spirituality. When they are fully established in Veera Bhava, then they become Devta in the last. And that is the sadhana of the Divyachar. So Baba has mentioned very nicely and categorically 3 stages of sadhana: Pasvachar, Virachar, and Divyachar. And here Baba has mentioned about the Pancham Makara sadhana. I don't know whether you know much about Pancham Makara sadhana. And this, due to this Pancham Makara sadhana, this Vidya Tantra was misled. It was misunderstood by the people in India. Actually, there are 2. This Pancham Makara sadhana has been also divided in 2 categories. One is crude Pancham Makara sadhana, and another is subtle Pancham Makara sadhana. 2 branches are there. This is Pancham Makar. This is the sadhana of 5M. That's why in Pancham Makar sadhana, first is Madhya sadhana, second is Mansa sadhana, third is Matsya sadhana, fourth is Mudra sadhana, and fifth is Maithun sadhana. All sadhana starting from Madhya. Literal meaning of Madhya means wine. That's why this Avidya Tantric, they were drinking wine. But that is not the inner meaning, subtler meaning of the Madhya sadhana. The real meaning of Madhya sadhana means one who experiences the intoxicating joy from the drinking the Sudha or Somadhara, secreted from the pineal gland. That is the real meaning of Madhya sadhana. So when we do much more meditation, then there is the secretion of melatonin, and which is very intoxicating spiritually. And the second meaning of Madhya Sadhana, intense love for Param Purush. One should have intense love. And in that love, we forget our every worldly things. That is the real inner meaning of the Madhya Sadhana. Not to drink wine. And that's why second meaning also meaning Mansa Sadhana. The literal meaning of Mans is to eat meat. But sadhana has to do nothing with the eating meat. You know that meat is a tamasic diet. So Baba has mentioned Mas Sabd Drashana Gayam Tadansan Drashana Priye Yat Tad Bhakshe Nityam Sa Eva Mat Mansa Sadhaka. The meaning of Mansa Sadhana, first meaning is to control over speech. We should have control over our speech, our tongue. When we preserve ourselves, then we get a lot of spiritual energy. And the second meaning of Mansa, one who surrenders all one's actions, good, bad, even attainment of prolonged penance to me, to Param Purush, is called Madhya Sadhana, Mansa Sadhana. That is the inner meaning. But outer meaning is means to eat meat. But this has to do nothing with the Panchamakar Sadhana, Mansa Sadhana. Likewise, third Matsya Sadhana. So Baba has mentioned, explained it through mantra. Ganga Jamnar Madhyav Do Matasyav Chartav Sada. Tau Matasyav Bhakshiyat Sa Eva Matsya Sadhana. Matsya means the outer meaning, literal meaning, Matsya means fish. So external meaning is just to eat fish. But white eating fish, killing fish, Param Purush cannot be happy. So between Ganga Jamna, two nadis are there, Ida and Pingla. And between Ida and Pingla, our breathing in and out is there. So we have to control that our breathing system through pranayam. And we have to concentrate our mind while concentrating our mind in Agya Chakra. And we should have control over breathing through pranayam. In this way, we can attain spiritual attainment. We can have spiritual attainment. That is the real meaning of Matsya Sadhana. To control the breath and concentrate the mind in Agya Chakra. When a person feels, and second meaning, when a person feels all the pains and pleasure of others as one's own pain and pleasure, that is the inner meaning of Matsya Sadhana. Likewise, Mudra Sadhana. Mudra is a physical posture also, but the inner meaning of Mudra Sadhana is that bad company leads to the bondage and good company leads to the liberation. Having understood this supreme truth, one should avoid bad company. Because this satsang is very essential for spiritual progress or spiritual elevation. Likewise, Maithuna Sadhana. The outer meaning, a literal meaning of Maithun means to have sex with the woman. But it has to do nothing with the inner meaning of Maithuna Sadhana. The purpose of Maithun sadhana is to raise the Kul Kulandi and unite it with Parama Shiva at the Sahasrara. That is the real meaning of Maithun sadhana. Jiv Bhava is called Radha Bhava. We all are Radha. And when Radha means Kul Kulandi merges with Krishna in Sahasrara, that is the unification of Radha and Krishna. And that is the real meaning of Maithun. Unification of our unit I self with the Supreme Self. So this is the what it has been mentioned in the chapter, but I will go more deeper from the chapter. And what it has been mentioned in sadhana and tantra, lessons of tantra are physico psycho-spiritual. So it covers all the aspects of our personality. We have physical body, so we have so many physical problems. We have intellect, so many intellectual problems. We have soul, so we have so many spiritual problems. So our sadhana is a physico-psychic, psycho-spiritual. It starts from the physical body. Then we convert, transform our physical waves into the psychic waves. Then we transfer our psychic waves to the spiritual waves. Then finally we attain the state of liberation. So we have to be very particular about food and yoga postures. In this way, we can purify our physical body. Spiritualization through physical and psychic purification. It is a must, what Tantra says. And here, Baba has mentioned, very nicely explained about Bhava, idea. What is Bhava? So he has given one slok, Sudh Sattva Visheshadva, Prem Suryansu Samya Bhak, Ruchi Bhi Sudh Chit Masrinya Kritasau Bhava Uchyate. What is Bhava? Idea. It is a psycho-spiritual parallelism. And what is ideology? When we established in psycho-spiritual parallelism, that is called ideology. So here Baba has explained about Bhava. Bhava hi manaso dharma. Ideation is the tendency of the mind, and the flow of Bhava can be brought out through repetition to the of Ishta mantra. The more when we repeat Ishta mantra, we can more have the spiritual flow of mind. And he has mentioned about the Suddha Sattva. What is the meaning of this sloka? That type of special ideations which makes the intuitive rhythm very pure and holy, which arouse the latent love for Param Purush, which makes the mind smooth and soft, owing to spiritual effulgence. That is the real meaning of bhava, ideation. And that we can have practiced through the constant repetition of Ishta mantra and Guru mantra. In this way, we can vibrate our body, mind and soul, and while vibrating our body, mind and soul, we can get liberation, or we can attain desideratum of our life. So this is about the topic Tantra and Sadhana, but my main topic will be specialties of Tantra Sadhana, started by Sri Sri Anand Murti ji. We all are practicing Tantra Sadhana. Many you might have got all lessons, and As you know, Baba has given different type of sadhana. Raj Yoga sadhana, Rajadhiraj Yoga sadhana, Kapalik sadhana, Macrovita sadhana, Vishesh Yoga sadhana, Kirtan and Madhur sadhana, different type of sadhana. But all these sadhanas are the part of the Tantra. All these sadhanas are the part of the Rajadhiraj Yoga. That is not my topic here. Here I will deal with the practical aspect of Tantra sadhana, as we are practicing in day-to-day life. So I will explain with my experiences, but everything, whatever I will say, that is said by Baba. There is nothing is my own. But I will explain so that you will understand the speciality of Anand Marg Tantra sadhana, what Baba has taught. In this sadhana has 7 aspects. Please note it down. I will mention it one by one. It has 7 aspects. First is Diksha. Our sadhana starts with Diksha. So first aspect is Diksha. Second aspect is Mantra. Better you please note down. Third is Yantra or Chakras. 4 is Kul Kulnalni. 5th is Prana Shakti, vital energy. 6 is Dhyan Yoga. And 7 is Sadguru. So this our Tantra sadhana, it has 7 aspects. What we practice in day-to-day life. And what Baba has mentioned, the speciality of Tantra sadhana, our Tantra sadhana has 3 specialties. First is ceaseless and factless fight. We have to constantly fight with our outer and inner enemies. Second, the speciality of Tantra sadhana, the rousing of Kul Kundalini. We have to awaken our sleeping divinity. That is the speciality of Tantra sadhana, the rousing of Kul Kundalini. And third is Siddha Mantra. In sadhana, we have got Siddha Mantra given by Mahaprabhu. We have got all this Ishta Mantra and Guru Mantra. Though these are the Siddha Mantras. So let us deal with the first point, Diksha. Tantra sadhana propounded by Sri Sri Anandamurti ji, an integrated approach start with initiation or Diksha. It has been mentioned in Tantra by Lord Shiva. Once Lord Shiva told to Parvati, his spouse, Devi Diksha Vihinen Siddhir na Sadgati. Because this Diksha is an essential part of sadhana. Rather, it is the first ladder on the path of spirituality. And what is the inner meaning of Diksha, specialties of Anand Marg Diksha? This Diksha provides the torch to dispel the darkness created by the ignorance due to the obsessions with mundane activities. So this Diksha removes darkness. As you know, there are 2 types of process of Diksha, Vedic Diksha and Tantric Diksha. Vedic Diksha is mainly theoretical, but Tantric Diksha is practical. And in Anand Marg, we follow Tantric Diksha. Tantriki Diksha. In this Tantric Diksha has two categories, Nirbij and Sabij Diksha. What is Nirbij Diksha? Nirbij Diksha is theoretical. As Baba says that we should follow Yam Niyam and 16 points to have a strong mind, to strengthen the flow of our mind. But Sabij Diksha, in Sabij Diksha, Anand Marg Diksha is Sabij Diksha. In Sabij Diksha, Guru becomes everything. That's why in sadhana, total surrender is needed. And second speciality of Sabij Diksha, you means sadhak get Ishta mantra according to their sanskaras. We get our Ishta mantra and Guru mantra according to our sanskaras. And what this Diksha does, it means the acoustic root of the Ishta mantra and that of the sanskaras of the sadhak should have a corresponding parallelism. Means there must be parallelism in intuitive and incantative reason. That is the speciality of Ananda Marg Diksha. And Ananda Marg Diksha has 5 items. 5 things are essential in Ananda Marg Diksha. So I can say this is the combination of 5 factors. And these 5 factors are very, very important in Ananda Marg Diksha. And you know, this process of Diksha starts from the oath. In Sanskrit, oath we called Abhishek, is spiritual coronation. After getting oath, we get passed to enter into the kingdom of spirituality. When aspirant takes stance, him or her to have a fellow feeling towards the entire manifestation. And we take oath. The moment you take oath, the Guru immediately holds your hand. When we take oath, then and there, Guru catches our hand. And second item in Diksha is Dakshina. After completing the process of Dakshina, Diksha, we have to give Dakshina to Guru. We offer to the Guru. And the moment you give Guru Dakshina, you catch the hand of Guru. The moment you give Guru Dakshina, when you offer yourself to the lotus feet of Guru, then and there, the moment you give Guru Dakshina, you catch the hand of Guru. Simultaneously, Guru also catches your hand. So that since that very beginning, there is deep relation between disciple and Guru. Here our relation with the Guru starts. There is one very nice incident when Baba was in Bankipur Central Jail, Patna. Or Dadaj and Margij were also with Baba. One day, one Dada gave initiation to one notorious criminal. There is in the routine 1 hour they give time to walk on the open field. So one man, though he was very criminal minded, but he wanted to learn meditation or pursuing Dada. But there was no place to give initiation. So at the time of walking, he brought him in under the tree and he started giving initiation. Process was almost completed. At the meanwhile, there was ring well in the jail, the emergency well that is called. And when there will be emergency well in the jail, then everybody has to go then and there into their barracks, into their room. Otherwise, they will be beaten very severely. When there was emergency well, all ran away to the room. Dada also and that new sadhak also. So that Dada was very happy. And next day, while walking, he told to Baba, today I initiated such and such person. Then Baba told, you initiated, but I didn't get dakshina. I did not get dakshina. Because in hurry, when emergency will ring, they have to leave. Then Baba told, without dakshina, sadhana is incomplete. Diksha is incomplete. So Diksha is a very, this dakshina is essential part of Diksha. And you know that Guru gives initiation. We acharyas are simply medium. Many incidents are there. Very long time ago in 1962, one professor in Chandigarh took initiation. But he wanted to have initiation with Baba. But Acharya told that Baba doesn't initiate to anybody. He initiates through Acharyas. Somehow he waited 2 years and finally he took initiation from Acharya. Then he came to see Baba in Jamalpur. He wanted to have Pishi with Baba. During Pishi, Baba told that I was giving initiation. Acharya was simply medium. Then Baba mentioned what color of shirt and pant he had at the time of initiation and what was the direction of the room. Then he understood that Baba knows everything and he initiated through the devotees. So I have another incident. Once upon a time, Acharya Chidaranji was always thinking about his Acharya. His Acharya was Bish Mohan. No doubt he still is alive, maybe more than 90 years age. He was very spiritual personality. But his Acharya was ill, so he was thinking if something happens in the Acharyas, that what will be my fate? In that state of mind, he came to Jamal to see Baba. Then Baba told him, why you are so much worried about Acharya, your Acharya? As you know, I am the Guru of Anand Marg. And I am also the Acharyas of Anand Marg. I am the real Acharya of Anand Marg. So if something happens to Acharyas, I am there to look after you. So don't worry about your Acharyas. So this oath and Dakshina. And third very essential factor of Diksha is Deepani. That is the specialty of Tantric Diksha. Deepani means showing torch. We see your route through the darkness and reach the goal. If there is Cimmerian darkness, you are not able to even find your hand. So if there is light, while seeing light, we can reach to our goal. So Deepani means showing torch. So you see your route through the darkness and reach the goal. So what is the practical aspect of Deepani in Anand Marg? Suddhis, what you have been taught, Suddhis, Sri Suddhis, Bhu Suddhi, Asan Suddhi and Chit Suddhi and Varnargadan. This Guru Puja. This is the practical aspect of Deepani. So the Suddhis and Varnargadan is a very vital part of our Diksha, vital part of our sadhana. That's why Baba has said that you should give more and more time to your Suddhis. if there is time 30 minutes for sadhanas, then if you are doing 25 minutes with this, so 5-minute concentration is enough to vibrate yourself. So Deepani, and fourth is mantra ghat. And what is the practical implication of mantra ghat? And you know, when you sit in Padmasana or Siddhasana, after closing your eyes, then Acharya might have taught you that after sitting in the posture, you should repeat your Ishta mantra 80 times. That is the practical aspect of mantra ghat. When we repeat the Ishta mantra with the ideation, it strikes our Muladhara chakra and vibrates our spiritually. Mantra ghat, when a caustic root strikes at the root of the coiled serpentine, it is erased. That is called mantra ghat. So this repetition of Ishta mantra while concentrating our mind in Ishta chakra, that is real mantra ghat. And with the stroke of the mantra, our full Kundalini awakens because it is sleeping in Muladhara chakra. And 5 essential part of Diksha is mantra chaitanya. When we get by mantra ghat, when our full Kundalini has awakened, and after awakening, what it has to do? It has to move towards that supreme positivity, towards Sahasrara chakra, while crossing different chakras. So mantra chetan, when it moves towards the supreme positivity, is called mantra chaitanya. Your repetition of mantra with the ideation, or to imbibe the meaning of your mantra in your mind, that is the real meaning of mantra chaitanya. So these are 3 essential parts of our Diksha. Oath, Dakshina, Deepani means Suddhis and Parnargadan, mantra ghat, repetition of the mantra, constant repetition of Ishta mantra. That is mantra ghat, mantra chaitanya. When Kundalini is awakened, then it has to move while crossing different chakras. So that is mantra chaitanya. So that is the first aspect I have told you, Diksha. Then second aspect is mantra. As you know, the inner meaning of mantra, 2 types of mantras are there, ordinary and permanent. Because through Guru mantra, Ishta mantra, we can get permanent liberation from all the bondages. So this mantra is very essential, but here I will explain about the practical aspect of mantra. It may be new for you. You know that the specialty of mantra, incantative, rhythmic, and additive. You all know it very well. But what is the specialties of Anand Marg mantra? Because many gurus, great personalities, they have given mantra. Then what is the specialty of mantra of Anand Marg? The specialty of mantra of Anand Marg is to transform the personal entity into to transform the impersonal entity into the personal entity. That is the specialty of Anand Marg mantra. And how we can transform our impersonal entity into the personal entity. This is very important. Here I will cite one example incident. There was a great novel writer, Bankim Chatterjee. You might have heard his name. He was a very good writer. And all the times he was absorbed in writing novel. That was the lunch time. So his granddaughter was calling, Baba Asun, Khavar Janne Asun. Oh grandfather, come for the lunch. It is a time for the lunch. This small girl was calling her grandfather with great love. But grandfather was not responding. He wanted to hear that word again and again because it was so lovely, so endearing. Because the word is so dear, so I wanted to hear again and again. So Baba is very much personal. So how we can transform this impersonal entity into the personal entity? You know, mantra murtim amurtakam. Baba has said somewhere, mantra murtim amurtikam. Mantra murti means who is the embodiment of mantra? Guru, Ananda Murti. But Guru is a bodiless entity. Guru is formless. Mantra is form. He associates the mantra with bhava, with ideation. Mananat taryet yastu sah mantra parikirtitah. So here, three factors, 3 points very important. How we can have transform our impersonal entity to the personal entity. Because Baba is very much personal. And Baba is a formless entity. Is a Guru, is a Anand Murti, he is a formless entity having no form. First, every month has a spiritual ideation, as you know, whatever you have got, Ist Mantra, Guru Mantra, it has a spiritual ideation. And when we repeat the mantra with the ideation, Guru himself becomes the ideation of the mantra. And in this way, impersonal entity becomes personal entity for the sadhakas. Because he, our Guru, is our personal God, resides in our heart, not in the 7th layers of the sky. So with the constant repetition of the mantra with the bhavas, we can transform our impersonal entity into the personal entity through the repetition of the mantra. And you know, system of personalization is only possible when sadhakas get Ist Mantra according to their sanskaras. System of personalization is only possible when sadhakas get Ist Mantra according to their sanskaras. That's why when we repeat Ist Mantra with the addition of the bhava, then impersonal entity becomes our personal entity. He becomes the God of our heart. So our God doesn't remain in the 7th layer of the sky, but he remains in our heart. And third factor of Baba's mantra is psycho-social transformation. This mantra also brings a psycho-social transformation. Is also need of the time. Sadhak should have relation with the created world. Anand Murti has made it essential that we should have eternal feeling of love for all. Human beings, animals, crude and matter, for everything we should have love. New humanistic idea. That's why Baba has made compulsory service. Without service, without seva, one cannot get liberation. Because when Guru comes, he comes to establish one universal society. And for that, psychosocial transformation is also needed. So this is the 3 qualities, specialties of Anand Marg mantra. And third is yantra, means chakras. As you know, this yantra, combination of these chakras. What are the chakras? Combination of some glands and sub-glands situated on the crossing points of Ida and Pingla over Susumna. You all know it very much. Where is the location of chakras. And why this yantra sadhana or chakra sadhana is very important. Without purifying the chakra, we cannot get liberation. The chakras are the spiritual energy center. These chakras vibrates. When chakra vibrates, then our mind also vibrates spiritually. And you know very well, the chakras are situated within Brahmani in Susumna. Three nadis are there, Ida, Pingala and Susumna. As I have just mentioned, these chakras are the combination of subglands and subglands situated on the crossing point of Ida and Pingala over Susumna. So chakras are situated within the Brahmani in Susumna. The yantras are responsible for the secretion of the hormones, essential for psycho-spiritual health. And it is also helpful in psycho-spiritual sublimation. And for that, chakra has to be sanctified. Second importance of chakra sadhana is, spiritual practice on chakras, yantras, widens the Susumna and thereby relaxes the bondage created by the knots made by the Ida and Pingala. When we do chakra sodhan, third lesson, pranayam, when we concentrate on the center of different chakras, then our Susumna nadi is widened. When Susumna nadi is widened, means automatically the Ida and Pingala will contract. So this is called a nadi suddhi, purification of nadis. And expansion of Susumna is very essential because this Kundalini passes through the Susumna. But there is a knot of Ida and Pingala on every chakras. So this Susumna has to be widened. Susumna will widen, then Ida and Pingala will contract. Then only our Kundalini can pass through the Susumna and it can reach to the Sahasrara chakra. And third, very important, the chakra sadhana. Yantras also control the vrittis. The chakras control the vrittis. And in vrittis, there are the sanskaras. So entire Susumna path should be cleaned for yantra sadhana, for chakra sadhana, to generate sublimated idea at the nucleus of every chakra. When chakras are purified, then vrittis will be sublimated. Then we can have control over our vrittis. So this is the actually speciality of Anand Marga Yantra Sadhana, Tantra Sadhana, taught by Lord Anand Murti ji. And fourth, I have mentioned fourth factor, fourth aspect is Kul Kundalini. What is this Kul Kundalini? It is a ectoplasmic stuff, Jiva Bhava. What Baba has mentioned in Anand Sutram is Thuli Bhavane Nidrita Sa Kundalini. At its crudest point, Muladhara Chakra, Kul Kundalini sleeps in the deep slumber in the form of the Jiva Bhava. And the arising of Kul Kundalini at the Sahasrara is essential for moksha. For attaining moksha, we have to arouse our Kul Kundalini. And what is this Kul Kundalini? Kul Kundalini is the manifestation of Mahasakti, Prakriti, in the unity structure. And moksha is possible through the sadhana of Rajadhiraj Yoga. Baba has mentioned that moksha is only possible through the sadhana of Rajadhiraj Yoga. But as we know that with our effort and with the grace of Guru, we can elevate our Kul Kundalini up to Agya Chakra. We can elevate our Kundalini. And beyond Agya Chakra, our effort, our energy won't work. only the grace of Guru, Karuna and Kripa of Guru only works. Beyond Agra Chakra, it is not possible to raise without the grace of Guru. So that's why in the final stage of sadhana, we depend on Guru. So we have to full surrender. When we surrender fully, when we always ideate, and with his grace only Kul Kundalini can be elevated from Agnya Chakra to Sahasrara Chakra. And you know how to elevate Kul Kundalini. What Baba has mentioned, there are three processes of elevating the Kul Kundalini: Mantraghat, Nadi Shuddhi, and Bhavakarshan. These are the three processes for arousing Kul Kundalini. Mantraghat, I have just mentioned repetition of mantras with ideation while concentrating our mind in particular center. Nadi Shuddhi, I have also explained. When Sushumna Nadi is expanded, then automatically Ida and Pingala contracts. That is the real automatic Nadi Shuddhis. So this Nadi Shuddhi is also essential for the elevation of the Kul Kundalini and Bhavakarshan. When we do more and more dhyana, then our mind is spiritually vibrated, fully vibrated. When it is fully vibrated, that our ideation attracts Kul Kundalini towards the Sahasrara Chakra. So for elevating Kul Kundalini, three processes: Mantraghat, Nadi Shuddhi, and Bhavakarshan. And you know very well, when Kul Kundalini crosses different chakras, we have different type of experiences. When Kul Kundalini is between Muladhara and Manipur Chakra, then it is called Braj Bhava. Sadhak always remains happiness. When Kul Kundalini between Manipur and Agya, that is called Gopi Bhava. And beyond Agya Chakra, it is called Radha Bhava. In Radha Bhava, there should be pleasure to Param Purush, not to me. That is the climax of Ragatmika Bhakti. To attain Ragatmika Bhakti, it is essential to arouse our Kul Kundalini. But that is the inner secret of Tantra. We arouse the Kul Kundalini. And for that we need the grace of the Guru. Then fifth factor is vital energy, Prana Shakti. A question arises where this Prana Shakti gets pabulum, energy. This Prana Shakti, vital energy, gets energy from breathing in and out. Our pranayam is not only breathing exercise. Our pranayam concentration is a must in a point, in a particular point. If mind is fickled or speedy or debated, in that state, one should not do pranayam. If you do pranayam in that state, then that will also make your mind more speedy. That's why Baba has mentioned Mano Anyatra, Siyo Anyatra, Saktir Anyatra Maruta, Na Siddhyati Bararohe, Kalpa Koti Japairapi. Means in pranayam, our mind, our consciousness, our energy, flow of Vayu, all should run in the same direction in a concentrated way. Indriyana Manonatho Manonathastu Maruta. Lord of Indriyas are mind, and Lord of mind is Vayu. So in order to control our mind, we have to control over this prana Shakti, vital energy. It is endeavor to sublimate the entire prana Shakti with the divine vibration of Ishta mantra. So pranayama is not only essential item of energy for physico-psychic existence and expression, but entire vibrational expression of the entity has also a corresponding parallelism with the vibration of prana Shakti, is called pranayama. So pranayama of another marg is physico-psycho-spiritual. It balances our physical, mental and spiritual energy. It maintains balance in body, mind and soul. So this is the speciality of Anand Marg Pranayam, Prana Shakti, vital energy. And sixth factor which is very important, Dhyana Yoga. What is this Dhyana Yoga? Many of sadhakas might be doing Dhyana Sadhana, sixth lesson. This Dhyana Yoga, this is the combination of four factors. Brahma Tadbhav, Pranidhan, Anudhyan and Yojanat. That's why Baba has mentioned in Tantra and Sadhana, Dhyan Kriya is a complete process in itself. Several aspects of sadhanas are incorporated in Dhyana. So as I have told, Dhyan in Anand Marg, this combination of four factors, Brahma Tadbhav, Brahma and its ideation, Pranidhan. When you bring our all mental flow in a particular point, then we divert our mind towards that supreme entity, Anudhyana, Yojanat. In Dhyana Yoga, what happens? Our unit consciousness unites with the cosmic consciousness. Yojanat, unification is an essential part of Dhyana Yoga. That's why in the highest stage of Dhyan, I do not exist, only thou exist. I and he becomes ideational entity, not a physical entity. Baba, Guru also becomes ideational entity in the highest stage of Dhyan. And you know that Lord is a supreme subjectivity. So we cannot witness him, we cannot see him. So what should be our... He is watching me. That should be our attitude. As I cannot witness, I cannot see him with my limited energy. So during Dhyan, sadhaka has to feel that he is always watching me. If there is feeling that he is always seeing me, watching me, then your mind will never be defeated. You will not do the bad work. And while always ideating on him, we becomes one with him. And what happened is, but because I will not go in the deeper, because many are might have not learned the Dhyana Yoga, but I can see that in Dhyana, in the highest stage of Dhyana, relationship of sadhak is like mother and child with the Guru. Guru is mother and child is, and disciple is child. Mother starts playing the dominating role and child enjoys the pleasure. The mother pull in and in. The devotee child is instilled with the closest proximity of the dearest one, which is the Ragatmika Bhakti. And that can be attained with the Dhyana Yoga. So, Guru is our personal entity. What once Baba told, prior to Baba, so this is about the Dhyana Yoga in short. Now, time might be getting over. So one point is left. Seventh aspect is Guru. And I have already told you what are the virtues or qualities of the Sadguru. Seven virtues, as it has been mentioned in the Tantra Sadhana, Tantra Sar, which is in the chapter of Tantra and Sadhana, I just told. So many things you know about the Guru, but here just what I will tell you the speciality of Sadguru, the role of Sadguru in our Ananda Marga Sadhana. Once Baba told, prior to Baba, the Guru would be Yugnad. Guru was always in the dual form. Prior to Baba, Guru would be Yugnad. Shiva and Parvati, Krishna and Radha, Shiva Shakti. So before that, sadhakas were doing dhyana of dual form, Shiva and Parvati. If you read many of the tantric books, then you will find they were contemplating on Shiva and Parvati, Radha and Krishna. So prior to Baba, the Guru would be the Yugnad, dual form. Baba changed the system. Baba changed the whole system and become singular entity. Once Baba told, I am a singular entity in DMC. Because there is personal relation between Guru and disciple. I will give you an example. Once upon a time when Baba was in Tiljala, and one sadhak came in the PC and just he was doing Sastang Pranam. That time his PA came and disturbed Baba. Then Baba became very angry. When my disciple doing Sastang Pranam, surrendering to me. So I have a personal relation with my disciple. Then why did you disturb? Because relation between Guru and disciple is quite personal. And Guru is a singular entity in DMC. Then some of the sadhakas asked to Baba, Baba, why you have changed the system? Then Baba replied, in Dhyan, there should not have obstacle of duality. In Dhyan, there should have not the obstacle of the duality. Because before that, they were concentrating on Shiva and Parvati or Krishna and Radha. There was duality. I never liked there should be duality in the Dhyan. So I have changed the system. Yasman Maheshwara Sakshato Kritva Manus Vigraham. Kripiya Guru Rupena Magna Prodharati Praja. That is the slok from the Tantra, what Baba has mentioned about the Guru. The Supreme One takes the physical form of a human being to liberate the humanity from the mundane obsessions. So there is much mentioned in the Kaulachar, original profounder of Kaulachar is Lord Shiva. It transformed from the external into the internal and internal into the Madhura Bhava. So in Tantra, about Guru, many things have been said. And Baba has also said, and what is the purpose of our sadhana? Merger of cool into the akul is called Kaulachar. Those who are trying to merge their cool Kundalini with Sahasrar, with the Krishna, that is the sadhana of Kaulachar. And for that, how sadhak has to do? It has to do by the psychic transformation, by vibrating every nucleus of the chakras. And it is your attraction which is attracting me. Then when we are completely vibrated in his ideation, then sadhak feels that is your grace. Your grace is vibrating me. Your attraction is attracting me. So these are very spiritual things and maybe time is getting over. So I would sum up my subject, and maybe it might be practical for you what I have mentioned. What you are practicing, just I have told you in a systematic way. This is the speciality of Anand Marg Tantra Sadhana, what Baba has taught us. And it deals with the 7 aspects, what I have said you in detailed. So, you know, we are the spiritual aspirant, and we are lucky that we have God Tarak Brahma is our Guru. So we should do our meditation regularly. We should follow 16 points. And when we follow Guru's command, our liberation is a sure and guarantee. Not only in the spiritual realm, rather we will crowned with the success in all the aspects of the life. This is sure. So here I conclude. So I think so now time is over. So I do. So you all have given me chance in seminar to give a class. So I am thankful to you all. And with this, I conclude my subject. Namaskar.
Namaskar, Dadaji. Thank you very much. This is